Hello and a warm welcome to this Women's Day special on the Federal. I have with me a very special guest, actor turned politician, and now she is the member of the National Commission for Women. I welcome Khushbu Sundar on the Federal. Thank you so much, Khushbu, for joining. And first of all, a very big congratulations for becoming a member of the National Commission for Women. And but the first question really is that what would be your primary task, once you get onto the driver's seat?
Hi, thank you, Nilu. It's always been a pleasure to be with you on our show and speak to you. I think my first priority is going to be to bring in an awareness among the rural areas where everybody has a phone in their hands, but they're not aware that NCW is something which exists for them. This is, this is a commission which has been open to help women in distress, and we have 24/7 services on our WhatsApp. We have a number, we have an online, everything. So we are available 24/7. So we need to spread that awareness to the women there and say that, listen, you can reach out to us, because most of the women, they're a little scared to approach the police. They say that what will be the repercussions, or if there is a problem, then probably there might be some kind of political power, political pull. Somebody will have some connection somewhere, and we may not get justice. But I want them to understand that National Commission for Women works for them. We are here 24/7. We are here for them 365 days. We are going to work for you. And here it has nothing to do with any political parties. It has nothing to do with any kind of a caste or religion, nothing. It is just we women have to support them, and we are here to make sure that you get justice.
But in the 21st century, Khushbu, what do you think is the biggest challenge for women really? I'll talk about the social media space also, because you have spoken about it earlier. But otherwise, if you look at the by and large situation, what do you think is the biggest challenge for women now?
The biggest challenge, what I see, even in 21st century, is that women are still intimidated by the men at home. There are too many things which bogs them down. The kind of challenges they face, it's like you're abused, you have been taken for a ride, you have been any kind of abuse for that matter, you're humiliated, and they're like, nahi yaar, it's ghar ki izzat hai, usko kyun uchalna hai? There's a society we have to live in. Let's hush the whole thing. Let's not speak about it. We might be bombarded and hoarded by the press and the other people. Then yes, the mindset that we will be trolled. And the biggest problem which people face, women, they face, is the judgmental society we live in. It's a preconceived mindset, we have in our society, which is again man-made. And women, they think that first thing, and that we have seen many a times where it's a woman, the minute she is abused, then it's like first question which comes up is, what did you do to provoke him? What did you do for him or her to speak to you like this? Where did you go wrong? I think we need to stop that. And we have to tell women that it's high time. Education is on your side. You have the power. You are the most powerful human on this planet. You may not be as physically strong as a man, but emotionally, mentally, there cannot be anyone who's as strong as a woman. And I want women to understand that you have to stand up for your dignity, for your respectability, and the challenges you face, you have to do it yourself. So I think this is the biggest challenge, where we live in preconceived, pre-assumptioned, judgmental society, which we need to change.
Khushbu, another thing, without taking names, I still remember there was a rape case in Uttar Pradesh where a woman from the National Commission of, she was an NCW member of the state body. And she did suggest to the girl who was raped that I think she was out somewhere in the night, late night. And then she started saying that, she was not wearing proper clothes. And apparently that was a reason that, she might have been raped. Now, if you have women members in state bodies like these who are very, very insensitive, and you did speak about that, how judgmental the society is, then do you think that there needs to be some kind of a sensitization program within a body like National Commission for Women?
See, I wouldn't like to say anything what has happened in the past. I think with Rekha Sharma ji at the helm as a chairperson, I think it has been extremely important for us that how sensitized we are, because it's just been 2 days since I've joined the commission, and we have had classes, we have had some sensitizing issues, and we have had meetings with a couple of other women, distressed women they were the sex workers, and we had meetings with them where we have been persuading them to come to this side of the river and say that it is far more better this side rather than being there. So we have been working on those lines. Yes, it takes all kind of people to make this world. I definitely wouldn't agree that if a girl is sexually abused, if something happens, to go and ask, what were you doing? I'm a mother of 2 grown-up girls. I have my mindset. If my girls, they dress up like the girls dress up today, then I do feel little that motherly thing, instinct comes in me. And I said, do you want to dress up like this? But then I understand. I said, no, that's a way of they doing it. I mean, a man has to look at my face and speak to me rather than looking at my body and speaking to me. And this is what Mahatma Gandhi said: the day a woman can walk out at 2 midnight wearing with jewelry from head to toe, I think that's the day I will consider that India has got its freedom. But today the times are changing. You are looking at Western side. Everything is at your fingertips. We are adapting the Western culture. We have been. I mean, even if we have to follow only Indian culture, then I think men have to wear only veshtis and lungis and not pants at all. So why the rules are completely different for men? A man can wear a pant and walk around, but a woman can't wear jeans and t-shirt. I mean, why there are regulations only for women? I would suggest let a woman wear what she wants to wear. If somebody wears a dress which is happening in one of the events in Hollywood, then you're like, oh wow, look at the way she is dressed, or wow, look at the way she's carrying herself. But you have somebody wearing the same kind of clothes here, and you become like, oh, हमारे देश की संस्कृति को बर्बाद कर रहे हैं. No, हमारी देश की संस्कृति कहती है to accept everyone as they are. The culture of this country, yes, it's extremely important. Yes, there are times we tend to go overboard. Yes, there are times where we tend to follow and actually ape the West completely without forgetting where we live and the kind of rich heritage and culture which this country is extremely proud of. No other country would say that they have this kind of heritage and culture. But when we have an adaptation of the West, I think we need to find a right balance. And the right balance is not about the way a woman wears her clothes. The right balance is how men look at her. And that is where we need to understand that the men need to change the way they look at women, and not the way, the kind of clothes she is wearing, or raat ko 2 baje tum kya kar rahi thi. No.
Absolutely. When we talk about attire, it would be interesting to talk about the attire of women in politics. You've also been in politics, and I still remember the day when few women parliamentarians walked into the parliament. It was their first term as a Lok Sabha MP. They walked into a pair of pants and shirts, and the male politicians started looking at them, and then they were trolled online for all that. Is it time now to stop looking at women from that point of view, even if they are in politics? You generally, the society expects that if you are in the Indian politics, you must be dressed up in a sari or maybe in some Indian attire, but never in pants or maybe in skirts and jackets.
Why not? I mean, it's up to a woman what she wants to wear. If she's comfortable, very young girls, they were the first parliamentarians, and they walked into the parliament with the pant and shirt and a coat. I thought they looked beautiful. Those girls, I mean, why do you expect them to wear a sari and be an adult and wear a full neck and full sleeve blouse and walk in? I said, no. They were completely well dressed, and I thought those girls were beautiful, and I congratulated on them. But Neelu, the problem is, when you look at the way they were trolled and the way they were appreciated for the way they carried themselves in the parliament, the size of the people who trolled them was very small. But the people who appreciated them was by and large very big. So we always tend to look at the negative point, which is very minuscule. And we don't tend to look at something which was a very happy news and a good news that so many people appreciated them. So our mindset also goes only to the negative news, because unfortunately in today's times, a negative news is a headline news, it's a breaking news. No good news is a breaking news. That takes a second page, that takes a second slot. So I want that also to change. We all are equally responsible for the way this country functions. It is not the responsibility of just the Prime Minister or the government of India or the state governments. I think we as responsible citizens also have equal responsibility to make sure that the country is moving in the right direction. Yes, we are going to have difference of opinions. Yes, we are going to be on different ideologies. Yes, we will have little arguments. Yes, we are going to have conflicts of interest. But I think that is what democracy is about. And that is the beauty of every democratic country. And India being the youngest country, the youngest nation, I think it's beautiful to have these kind of conversations, the diverse conversation what we have. But we need to look at the positive side and not only look at the negative aspects.
Right. It's more than 70 years, Khushbu, since we got independence. In fact, a little more than that. And still we are struggling, for the space of women in politics. So why I'm talking to you about politics is that you yourself are an actor turned politician. You faced a number of difficulties, and people have been saying that, it's time now we should bring in the women's reservation bill. But there is a certain reluctance on the part of the political parties, even though the opposition has said that, look, we are there with the government. But we don't still hear too much on the women's reservation bill. How do we build in that narrative that it becomes an imperative, kind of a duty that, this is something to be done immediately?
So to be honest, I do not believe in women being bracketed under the reservation. I think women should be free to move as they want and do as they want to. Yes, there are times when we think reservation needs to come in because the amount of the representatives of women we have in the parliament is very few, percentage wise. Now, I'm not a parliamentarian, but as a woman of this country and a woman who strongly feels that women of my nation, of my young India, have brilliant chances of moving ahead. And we have seen how women from here have really been gaining a foothold all over the world, globally. I think the women in the parliament, from all different parties, whoever is a parliamentarian, they need to come together. They need to put their ideologies, their differences, political differences aside, because everybody is a friend. You meet them on everyday basis. So because I'm on a different political platform, or we have different ideologies, or we keep fighting with each other in the parliament, hum ek dusre ke khoon ke pyase hain. No, we're still friends. So I want women to come together in the parliament and take that forward. That we need more women in the parliament. We need this reservation, 33%. We want this reservation to be passed. We want to move forward. It's not only 33%. Why not 50%? And we have a prime minister who's ready to listen to your problems, ready to understand, when he has done so much for women in the last 8.5, 9 years, when he's done so much and brought in so much of schemes and seen that women should move forward. I think the parliamentarians have to come together and push this reservation bill and say that this needs to come into effect immediately, and we need to work towards 50% and not the 33%. And I'm sure with a government like this and the prime minister, who's so passionately working for the women of this country, I'm sure he will understand and he'll push this forward. And he has said it in the parliament that is the prime focus, and we are going to work on the reservation bill for women, and we are going to take it forward. He has said that. So I think we just need that little push, because there are too many other issues in the country, too many other schemes which needs to be taken forward for the country. The kind of growth we have seen today world over, globally, people have been looking at India and saying that it's one of the biggest nations to reckon with, and we are looking forward to this growth of India. So I think we need to work on that, and we just need to give a little more push to it, more vigorously, I would say.
Right. I read many articles where you've mentioned that, you're really going to push for some kind of a streamlining when it comes to cyberbullying and, the way the women are trolled online. The situation is really, really bad. Now, what can be the first priority as far as handling the cyberbullying is concerned?
See, cyberbullying is something you cannot control it, unfortunately, because everybody is free to join any of the social platforms. We need to file a complaint if there's very major trolling. And then if you look at all these social platforms, they have their own lines of where you can complain, where you can hold it, or they say block it.
Right.
The minute I'm trolled and the minute I block them, then it is kind of 2-minute fame for them because they take a screenshot and say, Arey, I'm blocked by Khushbu. So I have done it. I have done it in the past when I was in the opposition. I have done it in the past. You get into that very vicious circle where you find a sadistic pleasure in saying that somebody who is powerful, somebody who's famous has blocked me. What doesn't go into your mind at that point that probably you have been going a little overboard, and that is why this person has chosen a very easy way out is by blocking you. And this is what I see online. And most of the trolls, when you talk about, if you see, they do not have a face, the accounts are not verified, they don't have their own pictures, they hide behind a mask. And I say those are the spineless parasite cowards what we have in our country, because they know they are ugly and they don't want to show their own faces. Because imagine if they show their own faces and the way that they troll women, somebody from their family, I'm sure, will be on a social platform. And if they get to know that this is the person I live with, or this is the boy I have given birth to, or this is the girl who's my daughter, or my wife, or my sister, or my brother, my father, imagine the kind of shame they will go through in the family. So they know they're on the wrong side. They know that what they're doing is absolutely wrong. They know they're not supposed to do that. That is why they hide. So the best thing is you mute them. They keep trolling you, they keep adding you, don't even know, you don't get to see it. There are times when you need to file a complaint. Like one of my very good friends, Priyanka Chaturvedi, was threatened online by someone that they will rape her daughter. She had filed a complaint. Now that is taking it too far. You cannot threaten someone like this. And that needs to be, because everything is detectable. You can't say that we are not able to, there's an IP address, where you're coming from, where you're logging in from. Everything is available. That's where the technology has moved. So I think if it's going to go overboard, you just need to file a complaint. But this trolling, I think the best is avoided. You avoid them because you don't know who they are. They wait for you to react so that they can have 10 more people trolling you. And I think our time is so precious that you don't have to respond to them.
Absolutely. Khushbu, coming to the work-life balance, how women are managing these days. You yourselves are doing it. We all are doing it. But still, somewhere down the line, there is a disproportionality in the sense how women, the kind of and the amount of work the women put in at home as well as outside. Now, how does one really address that? Except, of course, we do keep saying that you've got to have understanding partners who also equally contribute to the home chores. But it still doesn't happen. And a working woman still is a very burdened woman in today's times.
Yes, we keep complaining, but we don't come out of the rut. We still continue to do that. It's a simple thing. I think we women love the tagline which follows that you are multitasking. How do you do it? It's a tough thing. Yes, I agree. But then if somebody asks me that you're multitasking, how do you do it? I take kind of a sense of pride and say that, okay, I'm able to do it. Of course, my husband will not be able to do it. It takes all kind of people. And we women are capable of multitasking. आपके घर में आप भी multitask करते हो. You take care of your family, you take care of your husband, you take care of your in-laws, your children, and your work. So I think we take pride, silently there's a sense of pride in us when say that, oh, you're multitasking, the kind of chores you do it, it's unbelievable. So, and we actually drive ourselves with this mentality that I'm capable of doing it. We women have this inbuilt quality in us where we cannot say no to any kind of work. We say, yes, I will do it. And we have this inbuilt drive. Matlab, kuch bhi ho jaye. I will see to it that my job is done. Even if I have to wake up at 2 in the morning, even if I don't get sleep for 48 hours, I will make sure that I'll get the job done. We have this inbuilt drive in us. And that is what makes us far more stronger than men. And that is why men are intimidated by us. Even in the rural areas, it's not about the urban areas, you and me alone. Even in the rural areas, every farmer we talk about, see, we talk about farmers, and the first thing that comes to in our mind is a farmer, a man with his dhoti and uska apna banjo hai. But the toughest worker being a farmer is done by a woman. She wakes up at 3 a.m. and she is out there in the field by 4. That is after finishing her household chores. She cooks, she sweeps, she cleans, fills up the water, does the clothes, everything. And she is out there at 4 in the morning. So the toughest job is done by a woman. So we keep talking about ourselves that it's we women are doing so much. No, but when you look at women, I mean, my mother, my mother-in-law, your mom. So, I mean, you look at those days, they had like पूरी एक cricket team की पलटन हुआ करती थी as children.
Absolutely.
But they single-handedly managed it. They didn't have washing machine, they didn't have mixer grinders, they didn't have water at home, but अपने हाथ से पंप से पानी भर कर लाना, कुएं से पानी निकालना, doing the dishes, cleaning the house, and making the cow dung to make the place clean and infect free. And I mean, they brought all of us comfortably. They never complained. So why are we complaining now that array we are doing so much of multitasking? I think it's just that inbuilt quality which we need to understand.
But is it time now to just stop saying, and I mean, of course, all women are multitaskers, but we should not label them as like somebody like super women or a super mom, or I mean, these are all the new age terms which have filled the dictionary. But then that is also harming the women in some way, because they don't have time for themselves, because you are too much into contributing for others. So I mean, what do you feel about these terms like super mom, super women, or super daddy?
I think these terms are very endearing when you want to say, I find these terms very endearing. I don't find it very taxing. If someone says you're a super mom, I like smile and say, okay, I like it. But that's what I find these terms, super mom, super daddy, very, very endearing. But yes, women need support. Women definitely need support. And that support has to come from the family, within the family. If she is not given that support, and again, I would go back to old age, and I say that when you look at our parents, our grandparents, how they brought us up, they had the support of men in the family, and that they had a very understanding partner, and that is why they were able to do it. The chores what we do at home, I think this COVID 2.5 years of lockdown and COVID actually taught us that we are capable of managing and make sure that things are done. We were working from home, but we didn't have servants at home, we didn't have anyone helping us, but we were back to square one, sweeping, mopping, doing the dishes, washing the clothes, gardening, looking after the family, looking after the pets, looking after the cat, looking after every damn thing, and the house was spick and span clean, sparkling clean. So we are capable of doing that. So, but we definitely, in today's times, it's very, very taxing, the kind of running around women do. It's important that she finds, if not any kind of a physical support, I think it's important to give her that mental support.
Absolutely.
Tell her, give her that assurance that I am there for you. If you ever, I mean, I don't think love is where you have to keep expressing it every minute, every second, and say, okay, I love you, baby. What are you doing? You're okay. No, you don't need that. I think love is to just emotionally give them that support and say that I am there. Go ahead. If you ever need me, I'm there right behind you to give you a hug and say everything is going to be fine. If I'm going to fall, I know that I have a strong hand which is going to hold me and say, I will not let you fall. And even if we fall, I think it's fine. We have the capability to stand up, look at the bruises, brush it, and say, I'm still going to move forward. This is how we were brought up. And I think these are the things which we need to tell our children and kids of today's times, where don't be afraid to fail. It's fine if you fail. It's just that you need to learn from the mistakes we have made and move forward. Get up, fall, but get up. Look at your bruises and say, "Arey, bachpan mein kya karte rahe? There was no iron, nothing." So what we used to do in schools, you fall, you have a bruise, laga liya, haan chalo niklo, ho gaya. Okay, You have a pimple, there was none of these acne creams. So the best thing mom would tell me is you wake up in the morning without brushing, ek lo and apne gaal pe laga lo, leave it for 10 minutes and wash it off. And that worked like magic. Today you tell the kids and they're like, ew, why do we have to do that? But I think वो जो पुराने जमाने के जो नुस्खे हुआ करते थे ना, the bringing up, I think we need to bring that. And this is what I was talking about, the culture, what we have. You know, there's
Yeah.
little finer things which we tend to forget in the modern world.
Mm.
And we need to bring that back. And I would say, as a woman of today, but with an upbringing of a mother from her times, I would say that you need to find the right balance in the modern world without giving up what our culture and heritage is about.
Absolutely. So towards the end, Khushbu, what would you really say and tell the women on this particular day where this program is telecast? What would you tell the women out there in the world?
Women out there, you're doing great. You're doing very well for yourself. Please understand what is your calling. You have to give yourself 100% to what you believe in. Never ever give yourself 100% in a relationship, any kind of relationship. You have to hold back a little. There's always a little mystery to a woman which does wonders. So I think you need to keep that mystery to yourself. People need to wonder, okay, there's something kind of a mystery, and that is very, very enigmatic. And I love that mystery in a woman. So your book, I mean, your life can be an open book. My life has always been an open book, but there is still some mystery to me. And I think women need to fight one thing: your position, your profession, everything. But I think one thing which women always need to stand up and never ever compromise on any aspect is her dignity and self-respect. The day you give up on your dignity and self-respect, that is going to be a road towards the end. It's going to be a downfall. So whatever may be the reason, stand up, and stand up for yourself, stand up for other women too, irrespective of political lines, irrespective your ideologies, irrespective of anything. Just stand up where you think is the right time to stand up and move forward.
Thank you so much, Khushbu, and always a pleasure having you on the program, and wish you a very happy Women's Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Wishing you the same.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more interesting updates.